wanna lay down. I wanna quit my job. I think I work too hard. It's been one of those days where you don't know where it ends. And I wanna quit my job. How about you? What did I put you through? All right, enough of jamming. Something I'm working on. All right, let's talk about women getting their passports. And let's talk about the reality of the day. Reality of the day. So we do, people travel, and here's the thing about traveling. If for some of you women who don't know, who've never been outside of the country, and especially if you have horrible attitudes, here's the thing about that. America is its own bubble. America is stuck in its own reality. It's the truth. They're very resentful of America because of what Europeans do to other countries. And they think they can just go anywhere and destroy and then say, hey, there were bad people here. We did this for you. We knocked all these people out for you. So people really don't like Americans in other countries. I've been to several different countries, and I'm telling you, they don't like Americans. Now, let's look at Brittany Reiner, whatever her name is, the basketball player. Look what she did. This woman travels. The WNBA women travel when they play in other places in order to, get a supplementary income. So they do this a lot. They know the rules in some of these countries. But here's what I think she did. I think she went over to that country and said, hey, I know the rules, but I'm going to do this anyway. And you got caught in an airport with a vape pen, something that was illegal with that. And they gave you 9 years. This is the arrogance that I'm talking about. Now, when it comes to dating men in other countries, for those women who really want to go out there and date other men, look, I encourage you, go ahead and do it. But leave your American attitude behind. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself not ever coming back. There are just some places that will not put up with you. They don't. If you look at what Chinese do to Chinese women, you need to go and check some of that out. Because those women don't have the same, what you call equal rights. They don't have that in China. Don't even think about going to North Korea. Just leave that out of your mind. Because there have been white people that went to North Korea and did not return. Okay, so let's just leave that country completely out. Some of these aggressive African countries, you're not going there either. You're not going there. You're not going to some of those countries because you will be missing. And that will be it for you. Some of these South American countries, you're not going there either. Because you're going to get trafficked and nobody will ever see you again. You ladies need to understand the thing about you is your sexual reproductive system is very important even when you get older. It is very, very, very important. Even your blood. It's very, very, very important to some people. And there are a lot of crazies out there and they will take advantage of you real quick. And a lot of times you'll get lured in by a woman. So, you saying you're going to get your passport because black men are getting their passport, they're going to other countries and these women are treating them right. Listen, I encourage you, get your passport, that's fine. But don't go to these other countries thinking that you're just going to go over there and run out the mouth. A lot of you women will go to you'll go to Jamaica. Jamaica is, from what I know, it's a beautiful country. You go over there, you have fun. But I've known people to go to Jamaica and have a bad experience. I know a guy and a girl who went to Jamaica. They didn't know each other, but they had a bad experience. And one experience from the woman is she said they tried to lure her into, an alley or something. And, they were going to do whatever they wanted to her. And there were a couple men standing there. And she saw it. And she was just like, oh, no, 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 I'm good. And I said, last time she ever went to Jamaica, they scared the pants off of her. Now, they were probably going to sleep with her or have sex with her, but you just don't know. Now, the guy, he went to Jamaica and they tried to take his passport and say that he's not who he is. They didn't want him to get back on the boat back to America. So, even we have to be careful. But ladies, if you take your bad attitude, your mouth, you're American, I can treat a man, and if you hit a man, one of these foreign men, I'm telling you, they're going to crack your whole face. And nobody's going to help you. Just look at how the police react in some of these cases. There are plenty of videos where, a woman steps out of line in their country, and let me tell you, she never does it again. And the foreign women will tell you, like, yo, chill. Because I have a relative who goes to a different country. He goes to Brazil. He goes to, Medellin and all those places like that. And one of the women he liked came up missing. He says, I haven't seen her. She's missing. He says, I think she's deceased. They don't play at all. At all. Like you think like over here, you can slap a man and he's supposed to be all, don't hit women. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. In China, they dragged their woman across the street in front of the police, broad daylight, and nobody does anything about it. All the men just look because that's him and his wife. That's their problem. And the police, you know what the police do? The police will look and they will usher him. I've seen it. The police ushered this guy off the street. The police just wanted traffic to keep going. This guy's got his wife like a caveman and dragging her ass across the street. Police don't care. They're like, just don't kill her. Then I got to step in. But, you guys are having a tiff. Boom, get her off the street because we got business to take. Nobody, listen, it's not like that over there. And it's not like that where we're here, everything stops because you screamed. No, there's none of that. They don't care about white tears. They don't care about a black woman's mouth. They don't care about you rolling your neck and let me tell you and all this. And I'm going to, try to, no, you can't do that nowhere. I used to live in Germany, and there's a lot of mixed people in Germany. You're not going to do that there. Nobody's going to stop for you in this whole scene and pictures, and you're telling you nobody cares. Nobody. I'm trying to tell you for your own good. Nobody gives a damn unless it's something that is a real, like, huge crime. And then, the boys are going to come out and handle it. But they're going to sweep that up so fast. You're not going to be all YouTubing and have all the, get ready to write a book because you got into a tiff. No, they're going to come, scoop you up, get you up out of there, and business as usual. They do not care in other countries. I'm telling you now, nobody cares. So I'm just warning some of you females, it's just so different in other countries. Like I said, I've been to 5 different countries. And, you can get shut down with the quickness and you can come up missing real fast. Really, 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 really fast. And they look for stupid people. Just in case you just don't know these things. Like even the government, if you go over there and do something stupid, they want their pound of flesh. There have been arrogant white women have gone to some of these third world countries and they did not return. They thought it was all good. They thought they could run around and do what they want. 2 girls actually went on a camping trip. They went camping like miles into the woods. They found those girls dismembered. They found their clothes in one area, then they found their body parts in different areas. They did a number on those young women. And it come to find out, when they did find their phones, they found out that they had been calling like emergency like hundreds of times and they couldn't get a signal. See, they were completely unaware of their surroundings. They just wanted to take this hiking trip, this tour through these woods, but they didn't know that there are real Indians that live in those areas. These are people who are not, at the height of civilization. They're just basic people. And when they see something they want, in their mind, they just go and take it. And they saw two women, young ladies, walking through the woods backpacking. And they were just like, oh, but no, see, they snatched them up. And the thing about it is they hunted them because those girls were calling 911 because they were scared as heck. They were hunting those girls. Those girls knew they were in trouble, but they were miles away from any help and they were in the deep woods. They couldn't get no signal. That was it for them. Once those guys got a hold of them, they did whatever they wanted to them. Those girls were, I mean, it was lights out for them. So you got to be careful. Like some of these places where these third world countries, look, listen, it looks civilized to you. It's like, oh, this is a civilized country, but you got to understand the way that country runs. A lot of that country runs on, it probably either runs on drugs, it probably runs on trafficking, it runs on something that's illegal. Look, even America, our GDP wasn't that great. Back in the 80s, we had to use drug dealer money just to keep the country going. That was a real thing that really happened here in America. Why do you think we don't go and stop a lot of this stuff? We're just playing games with them. It's a cat and mouse game, but we don't go and shut the whole operation down because we need their money. There are a lot of countries that run like that. And listen, in case you want to go to Mexico with your bad attitude and you're going to do what you want, I'm telling you, you will never return. You will not return. Look, there was a movie made by Jennifer, the one who just married Ben Affleck. She made a movie and it was about girls. It was about teenage girls, like 15 or so. And they were trying to track down where these girls were going missing. And come to find out that, the bad guys over there were taking them, doing what they wanted to them, and then dumping them in a landfill. A landfill. And when she found all these girls, they were just, it looked like, it was just a horrible scene. There were just bodies everywhere, and they were all females. They were all young females. So a lot of you young females think because I'm young, and all this, the world's gonna work for me. That's not how it is in other countries. No. You're not this. You're not. You don't step outside over in those countries and everybody protects you. It is the opposite. You step outside, everybody wants what you have. You are a commodity, and you don't live to see 16. That's not how it goes. It's, oh, you're going to, after this is done to you, you're going to go to a hospital. You're going to tell your story. They're going to catch the criminals. That criminal's going to do life. And no. Everybody knows who the criminal is. They know who they are, and they're heavily armed. Heavily armed. They know who the criminals are. And when they sweep through your town, your kid's going to come up missing. And when they find her, she's going to be deceased. You have no idea what you're facing when you leave America. Okay? All these rules that are made up here in America are not for everybody. It's not an international rule. You think that, some army's going to come your friends aren't going to come save you. The army's not going to listen to some of these trafficking stories. These people are out to get you. And a lot of them are now here in America. So listen, and everybody's got to be careful, even men, because listen, they're after hearts, lungs, livers, spleens. They're after anything that they can get out of you. So yeah, I would be very careful. I would say travel at your own risk. But you got to be careful, and by all means, do not have an attitude. Do not step out of line. Also, you need to learn about the prison systems in some of these countries because sometimes you can make a gesture and find yourself in deep trouble. Like this might mean something different in another language. This could be F you. This could be go screw your mother. This could be I banged your mother. Okay, there are all kind of insults that you don't know, and simply because you're just human. You went to another country and you went, hey, and then somebody was like, really? uh, if you watch the Zoom to Thailand, that guy will tell you about if you step out of line and say anything about the king over there, that's your ass. Like, they'll take you, lock you up, and then they'll send you right back here, and you can never go back to those countries. I mean, there's all kind of rules in some of these countries that you're just not aware of, and it can be your life. And there's been examples where, some young women went and got locked up because of something that they weren't aware of. And then of course the president has to step in. Sometimes he can, sometimes he can't. It all depends on what the person did. If they were unaware of what they did, that's one thing. But if they were aware of what they did, they broke the law, that's a whole different story. There's just not much negotiation, just like we're seeing with the basketball player. There's not really a lot he can say when you knew what you were doing were wrong. There's mistakes that foreigners make when they come over here, but we're a lot lenient. But when we go over to these other countries, let me say this: when I went to Zaragoza, Spain, I was only there for a night for a layover when I was in the army. When we walked down the street, there was a group of us. We were all soldiers, we're in civilian outfits. We're walking down the street. We walked past a bank. And when we walked up close to the bank, we saw two guards standing outside of the bank with machine guns. And they looked at us and stared at us the whole time. Gun in hand, ready. You think if we would have made a move, they wouldn't have shot us dead in the street? They would have killed us and thought nothing of it. And there were two young men just standing there and they watched till we got out of eyesight. Because it's for real over there. Because people, when they want to rob the bank over there, they come with the boom bam, and it's no joke, and it's often. So when they saw a group of people, they were just like, oh yeah, try something. So that's what I'm just saying. You got to be careful because these places, it could be your worst nightmare very quick. And so ladies, be careful. Yeah, get yourself a passport, but leave your attitude. Make sure you do some research before you go. Learn some of the language. When I was in the army, I went to Germany. That's the first thing they taught us. We had a 2-week class on right, left, red lights, driving on what side of the street. We had to do it. There were just a bunch of things we had to learn, and I'm glad we did because I actually got lost. And when I got lost, I had to speak German to somebody to find out where I was. But to my surprise, she turned around and spoke English to me and told me where I needed to go. I said, Entschuldigen bitte, wo ist der Bahnhof? And she said, you go down the street, make a right, make another right. No, I said, where's the concern, which is the base. She's like, yeah, you make a boom, 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 boom. And that was just that. And I was like, oh, kind of find out, the majority of people there speak English. So that's another thing. It depends on what country you go to. A lot of people don't speak English. If there is not a European presence there, a lot of people are not going to speak English. But if you, like when I went to the train station in France, all the people there spoke English. And when I went outside, when we went to the McDonald's outside, the guy there spoke a few different languages. He spoke to us in English. He spoke to the one guy in French, and so, yeah. And I saw, and I'd like to tell this story just for you ladies who think that, you have some value that America fools you into. You have some type of, you can go anywhere and be this. Look, I saw when we was in that McDonald's, there was this African woman feeding her baby, like true African, feeding her baby. And she's feeding her baby French fries, and a gypsy walked in. And you don't know, gypsies are everywhere in France, especially right where the train station is. And gypsies usually hold babies. There's two of them. There's a little boy who will, as soon as you come out of the train station, he'll be rubbing his stomach, telling you to give him money. His father will be over there playing the guitar, and his sisters will have babies in their hands, and they'll even be on the train, like standing there on the train, walking around asking for money. But this gypsy walked in, and she saw, these two African women that were there, eating. This other African with her child. She saw us, and she makes her rounds. She has a baby in one hand, and she points at her baby, and she asks for money. And then she goes to the next table, does the same thing. Well, she stopped at the African with the baby, and she was like, can you give me money to feed my baby too? And the African woman looked at her, and even though they wasn't speaking the same language, they knew what they were saying. And she was explaining to her, like, this is for my child. Like, I got to feed my child too. And the woman persisted. And when that happened, two other African women stood up and started throwing papers at the woman. Well, the woman looked at them and completely ignored them and started arguing with the African chick. Those two girls got up and beat that woman out of the McDonald's. They were slapping her so hard in the back of the head and cursing her out in whatever language they were speaking. They were, beg, beg, beg. You think anybody did anything? A bunch of cell phones came out and everybody was, hey, stop, don't hit her. No, nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. That woman got beat out of the store. The two Africans went and sat back down. The one African woman didn't even thank the other two. She went right back to feeding her child. And that gypsy came right back in, and then she went downstairs and did the same thing. It is a whole different story in other countries. There's this whole feminist movement that you got here is not over there. It's not like that. It's completely different. Completely different. Because you will get your ass dragged and nobody will care. When I say nobody, I mean you're not going to have, the sisterhood is not out of the woodworks for you and all this other stuff. And look, this woman just got her ass beat. And no, they're not going to do that. They're not. They're going to keep their mouth shut and they're going to go on about their business. That's just the way it is in other countries. And I know because I've seen it myself, and I was shocked. I wanted to help the poor gypsy chick. She wasn't even hurt. That baby didn't cry. That woman was used to getting her ass beat. She came out the store, she went right back in the store and went right back to work because that's how they make a living. And then we saw another one who looked just like that one when we got on the train. I was like, is this the same chick? I even thought the baby was fake until the baby started moving. So yeah, so I'm just trying to warn you ladies, it's a whole different experience in other countries. You will get your chin checked hard, real quick if you think you're tough. And those women are different too. Those women are not this soft, mamby-pamby, cry, and a bunch of Karens. They don't do the whole Karen thing over there. They don't, because people will come out and get with you real quick. There's not a whole sense of territory over there. People will, I've seen people sit right next to each other and have plenty of other spaces to sit. And like I seen this beautiful woman get on the train. Plenty of places to sit. She sat right beside this guy. He didn't even notice her. He didn't care. There's beautiful women everywhere. Over here, a beautiful woman thinks, oh, everybody wants, to sleep with me. No, nobody cares. No, when I say this girl was beautiful, I mean this girl was beautiful. Because I was staring at her like, that is a beautiful woman right there. Young, about 20, that dude didn't even look in her direction. He was just like, he didn't care. Nobody cares. You're just not that important. So just to let you ladies know, I don't know, what Kool-Aid you've been drinking over here in America, but as soon as you leave America, you're just not, your value of your life, it plummets. It plummets. You're not that important. Nobody cares. The police don't care. Not unless it's something really serious, then the police don't care. You get your ass whooped, oh well. You shouldn't have been talking smack. Some guy clocks you, oh well. They might ask him a few questions. Other than that, if they find out you're a couple, it's really finished for you. I'm just telling you, you get your teeth broken. And and in some of these countries, if you depends on the type of gypsies that I mean, there are different type of gypsies. There are gypsums and then there's gypsies. You don't want to mess with any of those because it's just a wrap for you. These Some of these people are nomads. Those are the gypsies. They just travel, back and forth. The gypsums are the ones who are like in that Brad Pitt movie. Like you don't want to mess with these people because they're just about it, and they come out in droves. A recent incident was a white guy decided he wanted to pick on an older man. This old dude was an old dude from India. I don't know what possessed him to do that. This is in England. I don't know what possessed him to do that, but once they found out who he was, the Sikhs came out and met him at his door. He was surrounded by Sikhs. I'm telling you, you will get your whole jaw rocked in other countries. And the police didn't show up. You know how it happens over here, a bunch of cops show up? There were no police. There were no police. That guy was surrounded. He was apologized right now. Or they was going to do him in right there and then. And, if you don't know who Sikhs are, they're the warrior class of people from India. Those same guys that are standing on the border right now where China is and, India is. They're standing on the border looking at each other, getting ready to start another world war. Those guys. Right now. Those guys. Yeah, they came out surrounded old boy like, what's good? So I'm just letting you guys know it ain't pretty in other countries. If you're going over there running your mouth and you're going over there with an attitude, this for men and women, but especially you American women go to these other countries, you mind your business, that's good. You follow the rules, that's good. But every now and then somebody thinks that they're cute or they think that, there's something that they're not because of Instagram or whatever trashy thing that you're looking at that's hyping you up. You go to these other countries, you get a rude awakening. And if you make it back here, you learn your lesson. It's your boy Tone 202. I'm out.